Your sisters are here, ready, open, and as fabulous as possible. These are your sweets, Makita
and Melanie.
And you're now listening to Girl,
What?
As you know, every show begins with the drink of the day. Today's drink is...
Today, we have special guests, so we're going to drink something really, really tasty.
Yummy!
It's raspberry cheesecake wine.
Oh, I'm excited.
Great wine and grain natural spirits with cream, natural flavor, and caramel flavor. It can be enjoyed over ice or with your favorite dessert.
That sounds great. And I know some people may be wondering, we don't endorse any companies, but we're just giving you the flavor. So
yes, I never say the brand.
We never say what the brand is. And so we just had to take a quick selfie. Sorry about that. So today I'm excited. Well, you know,
we missed a week. This is like
we weren't on last week, were we?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah.
Nope.
Oh well, in case you guys are not aware, those that may be afar, we are South Florida residents. So as you know, we just we're in the recovery efforts of, I didn't realize it was like a Kahlua.
Yeah, baby. It tastes so good, too.
We're in the recovery efforts of a Hurricane Irma, for those that did not know. I mean, if you're under a rock, you wouldn't know what was going on. And so we took a week off. I left. I was out of here. But our special guest and my colleague, Melanie, decided to stay. And so we're going to talk about that. And let's let our guest introduce herself.
Oh, thank you. And so my name is Claudienne Hibbert Smith. I am a real estate professional. Very, very excited. And I know, Makita, you got on initially and said you were excited, but you missed a week. But I can tell you this. I'd rather miss a week and be here physically right now. And so, again, I'm going to say that I'm excited. There's a lot of things going on, but I think we just have to be in the moment and just, we're blessed.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
You were able to leave.
I know.
So, some people didn't have an option.
I know.
And so, I'm very, very excited. There's some things going on, and we're going to go ahead and deal with them and start rebuilding our communities and the morale of the people and just, do what we can. But I'm really, really excited to be here with you guys today.
That's amazing. Do you feel the energy?
Yeah, man. And this wine is awesome.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Y'all know I don't drink, so they poured me a little, I don't even know if this has a measurement. It's so little. But this thing here is strong. I might not be able to finish the show.
Oh, my gosh.
You got like a drop.
You can't give a non-drinker this type of drink, but it's nice.
It's really light. It's just, this is for someone that never drank. Something that they would like to try. Holiday. That's a good holiday drink, actually.
Look at your face.
If y'all can see Claudienne's.
She's like, no, ma'am. No, no.
Woosah.
It tastes like Kahlua a little bit.
It does.
You brought it.
I didn't read it. I saw cheesecake on the glass.
So unlike you not to read it. We all know.
It looks cute.
Well, I like it.
I know. So, let's talk. Irma was
a beast.
A Category 5. And what was it still a 5 when it struck the states, or did
I think it was
down?
a 4.
Oh my God. So it decimated some islands,
So, quite a few islands.
Yeah. I want to say it wasn't Bermuda, it was Bermuda?
Something like that.
It was
I keep getting it confused.
I know.
And then when I remember, it's after the show.
I know. And then I think it ended up going down to a Category 4 when it hit Cuba. And I saw pictures. I know a lot of us, we all saw different pictures of what it looked like, and it was disastrous. But, what I do want to focus on was lessons from that? Like, what did you take from the hurricane? For me, I'll say when Governor Scott, and I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm not going to say anything about politics right now. Although, in the midst of all of this, I still have my special election that was not postponed.
Okay.
And the hard part now is dealing with post-recovery efforts and then trying to remind people to go out and vote. It's a slippery slope right now.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I saw someone post to do something about climate control. Mm-hmm. Not to be posting on social media, but it's actually to go and vote.
Yeah.
Because that's where the difference is. And so
absolutely.
I'm glad you actually bring that up. And, not that we're going to talk about politics, but this is important.
Yeah.
FEMA's out here and getting to the locations, but are they getting there quick enough?
Yeah.
I just heard somebody passing away because, of heat exhaustion.
And 25 years old.
Right.
And then the elderly there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is how we make government changes into the community by going out to vote.
Yeah.
I'll be voting.
I know you'll be voting. What I love is that Claudienne is not just a real estate guru.
Yes, that's what we're calling her.
We're calling her because that's what she is. Because she's going to be making some miracles happen for me to get into a place. For sure. And, but she's also very, very involved in the community. Not just now, but like before. And I love that. And I love that, Claudienne has a passion for whatever she gets involved in. I mean, you have a great relationship with many of the elected officials here in South Florida, which is always a great thing. But it's not one of those hands off. So that's what I admire. And that's why I wanted you to come on the show, because not only do you have a lot of insight as a non-politician, you're also constantly trying to involve and engage and inform folks about things that we're not really paying attention to. I mean, when you look at her, and I'm not trying to blow you up, but I mean, it's true.
Blow her up, girl. That's how we got the show. Trying to blow up anybody we can in our community, man.
With real estate, you're always trying to give nuggets to people and I think that's probably why you're so successful, because it's like, I'm going to do this regardless. I'm going to make my money regardless, but it's best that our community knows what resources out there and what different things are available to us. And I see that in your efforts to even letting people know about food drives, or even letting people know about what's happening with the credit crisis and FEMA and all of those other things. But tell me why. Tell me what's made you decide to take those steps.
Thank you, Makita. And I remember I might have been in high school. Yeah, I was in high school, maybe middle school, when we had Hurricane Andrew. Mm-hmm. And I'll just be very, very transparent with you. We didn't have shutters. We had tape on the windows. And, so you see me post about the tape, but it's true. I saw the shed literally fly into somebody else's yard, but we had no window covering. Mm-hmm. And I remember we didn't have lights for almost over a month.
Yeah.
And we really, honestly, as a child, we would go outside and play. We built us a grill in the middle of the street. We invited everyone on the block, the next blocks, 3 blocks over. And it was one for all, right? One team, one dream. And that's what I remember. I remember community in that fashion. Fast forward, I don't have to have tape anymore on my windows. But I don't forget where I came from.
Yeah.
And so I think our job is to be educated, be informed, but not just go off and be successful by ourselves, but also to come back and empower the people. Because you know what? One day I'm going to get old.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need those people to be educated, to be informed about different policies, different government help, FEMA, for example. People who have mortgages, who, don't have sick days.
Yeah.
What about vacation days? Mm-hmm. They don't have that. They can't, get full payment for those days. What about those people who do really need mortgage relief?
Yeah.
What about those people who really need food stamps right now because they went and bought all this food before the hurricane and now they haven't had lights? Mm-hmm. You're talking about a generator. A generator is great, but less than 24 hours, you're done with a 5-gallon thing of gas. And so I look at all those things and I just know, I didn't make it where I am by myself today. It wasn't done alone. Mm-hmm. And so that's really why when you see me in the community.
Guys, I'm Sarah Bendrick, and I'm here with Wayfair to show you guys how to make this awesome.
I just haven't forgotten where I came from, and I know I didn't get here today by myself.
Yeah.
And so it's my job, it's my duty to go back and to give.
That's awesome.
So, the hurricane for me. I get off work as a teacher. What was that, Friday? Thursday? No, it was a Friday. It was Friday we got off.
Wait, so you didn't have Thursday off?
Or no, I'm saying before the hurricane. Mm-hmm. It was Friday, I think, right? Wasn't it a holiday? Well, I'm trying to remember what day did it come? Was it a Wednesday?
Oh no, the hurricane came on a Sunday.
Yeah, it came.
I know the hurricane came on a Sunday, but when
I think they let schools out on Thursday.
Okay, so whatever day it was that they let the schools out, I get home. Before I left, I remember saying to one of my coworkers, I was like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know if I should get in my car and just roll or if I should just stay home. And it was like, when I got home, I'm watching the news and the anxiety of it all, trying to figure out which move to make. You're watching the storm, you're watching the predictions, you're watching which way it's going to go. It's in the cone on the east side. It's moving like you literally had to make a decision quickly.
Yeah.
Because you had to make a decision and stick to the decision and live with the decision.
Yeah.
So I had moments and I said to my husband, I said, maybe we should just go. Maybe we should just drive to Atlanta. But as I'm saying that, I'm looking at the traffic and I'm like, nah. And my husband's like, well, I just don't think it's necessary. I don't think we need to go anywhere. I think we'll be all right. I'm looking and I'm like, okay. So then I went to sleep. I was like, okay. It's like you're torn between which way to go. And so finally I was like, okay, well, we'll stand. I just got to make the best of this. Put the shutters on. Thankfully, before I even started school that week, I got gas. I filled up. Didn't know which way the week was going to go, but something said, go fill up. So I got up like literally in the middle of the night and God woke me up and said, go fill your car up. So it was like maybe 1, 2 in the morning. I went to the gas station around the corner and I filled my tank up. I'm still riding on that tank of gas like 2 weeks later.
Wow.
So I was like, well, I gotta can't separate. I can't go to Atlanta. My husband stay here. So I gotta stay here. So we decided to stay here. And thankfully, we ended up having lights. Y'all don't be mad. We didn't lose lights through the storm. We did go to my mother's friend's house because we were fearful that she would be there by herself. So we ended up going to her house to weather the storm, and she lost power. So after the storm when the storm was passing, my husband, I guess, went on his gut and was like, I just feel like our light's probably on. And the storm wasn't completely done. So we came home in the winds and trees swaying, not knowing what we were going to run into. Got home and our lights were on. But the agony of it, and then watching so many people not have lights, so many people not, the post of what gas stations are open, what stores are open. It was just like, wow. So for me, I just was like, you know what? This is a lesson that you have to make a decision. You have to trust God. You have to go with, stick to your plan and just pray.
Yeah.
Pray that it's going to work out and do what you can to prepare. There's a reason why they want you to prepare. And I think everybody should take heed to preparing. And one thing I will say, Governor Scott handled it. He prepared us. I can't think of a better way to prepare South Florida.
I can honestly
He was very proactive.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And that was my thing. I think in the midst of crises, our elected officials step up.
Yes.
So for me, one, my recollection of Andrew being in high school and just being awakened to all of this noise and all of you can just hear trees falling, you can hear the wind, and for me, I get anxiety. I have anxiety, so I identified that with myself. Mm-hmm. And when I listened to, I was torn because I'm one of those people that want to give back and help and do all this other stuff, but I'm also like, okay, think about your mindset and like, I'm living at home, and if where I am, and like my brother has a landscape company, so there's objects that need to be removed. There's all types of stuff, and I was just sitting here like, I can't in good conscience just be here because, a tree may fall on my car, or a brick may go through the window. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to get out of here, and I need whoever wants to come with me, let's go. And then at the same time, I'm in the midst of a campaign. And so I was like, okay, this gives me an opportunity to like go away. Okay. I wanted to go and get a breather. Mm-hmm. So my plan was to drive to Atlanta. It took me 6 hours to get to Orlando. So I stopped.
Oh my! Which is normally a 3.5 hour.
Which is normally a 3.5 hour drive, and so sometimes a 3 hour drive, depending on how fast you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so,
but you don't speed, so
and I
3.5 hours.
I really don't. And there was points where I was driving 14 miles an hour, and I was just sitting here like driving by myself. I said, "Well, Desiree said."
Des is on, by the way.
So Des said that, so I know that Desiree said that she wanted to go to Atlanta. And I was like, perfect. I'm going to meet them in Orlando, and then we'll all just go up to Atlanta. I haven't been in Atlanta in so long. And then we're just watching it, and they were seeing Category 3 still going to Georgia, and possibly something going to Atlanta. And I'm like,
North
we really?
Carolina,
South Carolina.
That thing was relentless.
It was at the point where I'm losing my mind. Everyone around me is laughing because I'm losing my mind, because I'm like, why are we still here? Why don't we do you cannot escape? Yes, we can escape. We have to escape. We have to get out. So I was dealing with that, and then after a while, I was like, well, it's done. We've already made our decision. It's like Saturday morning.
So wait a minute, did you guys end up in Orlando, or did you go to Atlanta?
I know, we stayed in Orlando. So I ended up, from Thursday to Sunday, I stayed at Desiree's house. And then from Sunday afternoon, when the weather was starting to pick up and get bad, my sister was like, let's go stay with Carla. So we went over to our girlfriend's house. It's another 45-minute drive in Point Siena, who ends up having no lights. I don't even think her lights are back on yet.
Oh, my.
Desiree's lights came on, I think, by the end of the day.
By the end of Sunday.
By the end of, it technically got to Orlando like Sunday night, Monday morning.
Oh, okay.
So we were dealing with that then. And so, yeah, Desiree might have had the day with no power. I'll give it, 8 hours or so. Mm-hmm. So I left the place where we were only out for 8 hours to go over our other girlfriend's house for still no power. I left and came back home.
Right.
And, but yeah, so I came home and the power was on here.
Okay.
It was just debris and trees and all types of stuff in my yard. So essentially we made out really well, given the circumstances.
The one thing that pissed me off, I'm just going to be quite frank, is that when we were weathering the storm, we turned on the TV, those of us that could, or even listening to the radio. Mm-hmm. And these fools, as soon as they could catch a break to get out in the wind was still blowing. They stealing.
Was it still?
No, it was. And you have to prepare. When they say prepare, they mean it every sense of the word. First of all, we have businesses here that have accordion shutters for other reasons than just hurricane.
Yeah.
And they close them every night because they're preparing for people that want to steal.
But it's just like...
Or loot. Thank you.
It's like, God has spared your life. This hurricane was massive.
You have to remember, too, like rational people try to rationalize unrational people, and they're not thinking. I mean, I heard someone was high and left the baby outside overnight. The baby passed away.
Oh my gosh!
And he said he forgot because he was high. Now, someone's rational trying to rational. It just doesn't work. He obviously has lost his mind. You know, I don't know what he was smoking or taking, but it was bad.
That's
crazy.
Forget
the baby outside the whole time.
And you need sneakers that bad because you trying to sell them. Like, really?
Yeah.
You woke up, you lived through a massive storm, and the first thing on your mind is to go to Foot Locker and grab shoes.
Yeah. To you, it doesn't sound rational, but to them, they were ready.
Did.
They were preparing.
And that's why.
And it's not just Foot Locker. You know, and this is why I was posting, you know, if you have neighbors. You know, where I grew up in Carroll City, now Miami Gardens. Everyone was family. There was no, I mean,
everybody looked out for each other.
Right. Yeah. So if I did something terrible or I was bad at somebody's house, I didn't wait to get a beating at home. I got a beating right there.
Exactly.
And so when I heard that, it was important for me to check on my neighbors, especially the ones I knew that had gone away. Not saying, you know, why they go away, they should have stayed. Everybody has a different
reason. You got to go with what God tells you to do.
You know, for Makita, maybe she didn't have anyone in her house at the time. She gets anxiety. We don't want her dead.
Exactly.
So if she, you know, if it meant for her to go away, that's okay. As a neighbor, let me go and check on Makita's house or dwelling, wherever she is, to make sure everything is okay. And that's why that was one of our posts. You know, make sure you be your neighbor.
And a lot of people did step up. I mean, for that bad incident that was highlighted, I don't think enough of the good was highlighted, and I could be wrong, but and maybe that's just the nature of social media, is that we tend to harp on the negative stuff that's happening and not enough of the positive. I mean, it's so funny. Every so often I see people post like, sure, if I post booty shot pictures, I get 100 likes. If I say something about something positive or some good news. Luke was one of the people that posted, but I've seen it on a couple of occasions. I think about it myself, but at the same time I don't, because you know that people are looking.
Yeah,
they get the information.
They
just don't they don't want to be seen as supporting that. It's just so ridiculous to me. Claudienne, what are some of the things that I guess homeowners should, in hindsight, should do for future? Because let's face it, we live in an area where that's going to happen. This is going to happen again.
We got Maria?
I think Maria
right now.
There's a few. Let me just take a sidebar. We live in a tropical area. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. But what we get is we get these natural disasters. We get these hurricanes. And some people are probably in, Midwest United States and looking at us like, why do you want to go back there and rebuild? I'm looking at folks that homes were destroyed and lives are done in Monroe County, in Key West, and I'm wondering, why would you go back?
Yeah,
I look at that when the tornadoes hit, Oklahoma and certain pockets of the United States, and think, after they have completely demolished your home, all your possessions are gone, why do you go back and rebuild?
Right.
It's
think about that.
It's simple. The same way they did for Homestead. Homestead is, the population down there is bigger than ever. And this time when they built with different codes to withstand the winds and the rains and the hurricanes. And so we've just got to build a better community in terms of structure in Key West. I know a lot of people had trailer homes down there. My neighbor has one on the water, beautiful dock with a boat. I haven't even checked back with her yet, and they're just starting to let the residents back into the city and sort of municipality. So, they go back and they build their community stronger than ever. And let me just say this, we've had a disaster. Real estate is going to go on and up and up.
Yeah.
Same thing. And, and I don't want to make this seems like it's an opportunity, because it is, but we don't want to make it seem like we need a disaster for an opportunity of that way.
Yeah.
But it's what it is.
Yes, what it is.
Right? And I remember when I was talking about this at 21, I bought my first 3 townhomes down in Homestead. They started building pre-construction. It kind of stimulated the market, built the morale of the people, for a while. And so they're going to need that. They're going to need that. Those are people's homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does it look, I mean, there were plenty of people that were looking at buying places and wanted, and including myself, and in real estate investment or, first-time home buyers or otherwise. What are, we're just getting out of the hurricane. So what do you see as things that's occurred already? Have you seen changes in...
Right now, I think what we're more concerned about right now is really just stabilizing what we have, getting people back to work, getting people with power.
Yeah.
You're talking about the elderly that needs their medications refrigerated, at a certain temperature.
Right.
Worried about that. So I think right now the main focus is bringing the people back to a place where they can just breathe.
A sense of normalcy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the kids are getting back into school. I just saw we had an email last night saying
go
that
back to work
Miami-Dade
tomorrow. Yeah,
is going back to school. I was driving in Liberty City and the light poles were all collapsed into the school property, and so you look at that and you think you think about the kids who missed a week of school, who rely on school breakfast, lunches.
We were talking about that
and
earlier.
So you think about that and you're like, those people aren't normal at home. On a regular day. Right? And so really bringing the people back to a place of just being normal again. In a good way this time.
I know. And then as a teacher tomorrow, I'm sure some of my kids are not going to be focused. They can't focus. They worried about what's going on at home.
Right.
And that's a problem, because then what is the expectation, especially when we're now in a education system that's all centered around these tests? Does any of that change? Are there what happens?
I doubt it. I doubt that the expectations are going to change.
Well, you know what I think though? I think if you are a school teacher who, and I have to say this, no offense to the school board, but I had teachers who just broke the rules in a good way. In a good way. And I think the teachers are going to have to take a moment to just share your experiences with us, because the kids, first of all, parents sometimes don't even talk to the kids because they just think they don't know what's going on. All they do is run around outside, run around. But they do have
they know a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
They're little humans.
Right. And they get into another place of comfort where the teacher can embrace them and ask them, what were your experiences? Let's write an essay on this. That's still incorporating thought, thinking, mind.
Yeah.
For the little kids, older adults, and high school kids. And so I think for our school professionals, we've got to take a day or two to just let them
That's what I'm going to do.
Come back, just have a discussion. But I was thinking the other day, too, you're going to have those teachers that say, you know what, we got a spelling test on Tuesday. And so, it just is what it is. You got to take the punches with the punches, and you got to roll with the ones that are not so hard.
Speaking of recovery efforts, this is going to be something that's going to be long term.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wondering, I saw quite a few people kind of, complain because they still don't have lights. They still, are without cable. Their phones are still not working. Depending on what area I'm driving in, my phone is going in and out. I'll get messages that are days old all of a sudden. And then at the same time, those that have no lights, they have no food, or they can't keep anything. I'm wondering what are the now cohesive efforts that's going to happen throughout not just Miami-Dade and Broward counties, but in Monroe counties, but throughout the state. And now, it's kind of shifted focus. We stopped talking about Harvey in Texas. This is now in our backyard. So
even in Georgia, they lost lights.
Yeah, even in parts of Georgia, that's pretty crazy.
New for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they didn't get what we got.
I know.
Their price. Yeah, thank goodness, but their power went out quickly.
I did see that video with I guess it's a fake video with people saying how downtown was like underwater. Did you see that?
That's not fake.
Or
the downtown
area?
Brickell was that was a real video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was real.
I wasn't sure. I mean, I thought it was real for like
real.
the first couple of days, and then someone said, "No, that's not
No,
real."
it was real.
Like
The water. It was actually right in front of the building that we used to live in downtown. I mean, that was real.
Well, there you go. Anyone that thought that some of those videos were
real.
fake, it was real.
Yep.
Wow,
it's crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm just thankful. But I mean, every day I wake up, I'm just like, that was a major storm.
Oh,
and
I know.
It was headed to hit us.
Mm-hmm.
God just moved it.
Right. No, you're absolutely correct.
The forecasters, they were like, at some point I was like, y'all don't know. Only God knows. Y'all don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Y'all just sit back and watch because we don't know.
You know, on Tuesday, we had shutters up. So when I started to hear about the storm, I said, you know what? Let's get our shutters up because we need to be able to lend our hands because there's so many people that can't move as fast.
Yeah.
Can't move as fast, yeah.
You know, and I started getting people, who would volunteer and do shutters.
Mm-hmm.
And so on Tuesday, I remember getting our shutters. I remember it. We got our shutters up, and I went into a mode of I'm not leaving. I've survived Hurricane Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they've built the homes a lot better. And I just was at a very peaceful place in terms of it wasn't coming. So I had not, my neighbors on the street decided they were leaving. They left on like Wednesday. I'm like, where are you guys going? Why are you leaving? It's a hurricane. I mean, where are you from again? But they weren't from here. So I understood,
they
didn't know what to expect.
They didn't know what the expectations are. And I think you said something very important earlier, make a decision and move forward.
And stick to it, yeah.
Because, I didn't have to make that decision because I hadn't even thought about it. This is Tuesday. My mind is saying, what can I do to help these people?
Yeah.
Prepare. Making sure my mom was okay.
Yeah.
Making
How did
sure,
your mom?
She refused to come over. She's like, no, I would just stay at my own house.
That was a lot of
putting up
people.
the shutters. And so now I wasn't even worried that something was going to happen to her. I knew that she was safe. Like I just knew it.
Oh yeah.
I knew that we would be okay.
Me
And
too.
I knew that God would spare us to be able to be help for the people who needed it the most.
Yeah.
Even when we ran out, our lights went out on Sunday. They kind of flickered. They went out. I was okay, no problem. I left I took a few shutters off because I didn't know what Jose and his whole family was coming to do. So we got a little bit of air coming through the windows. We opened the doors. Just not having power really didn't even register. We didn't even crank up our generator. We used the grill.
That's
I
awesome.
cooked as much food as we could for others.
I saw.
It just wasn't even a thought. I just went into, we gotta go and help. And my husband is just, he's not vocal. But I say, come on, let's go. He's like, okay, where?
And go.
And so I have to say thank you to him too because let me just tell you this. We saw somebody coming into Home Depot with 15 sheets of wood. There was no more wood. Now we're talking about like a Friday or Saturday. Now the storm is coming. We know. Mm-hmm. And it might have been Friday. I can't remember. Whichever day before the storm. And there were several people who were not here, who were not going to be here regardless of a storm. They left because they had already prearranged plans. And they were calling and I said, don't worry. I bought that wood because I knew we didn't
somebody was going to need it.
We didn't need it. But I said, it's 15 pieces. Somebody's going to need this wood. Let me see what I can do. Let me tell you, at the end of that day, the wood was gone.
Wow.
The wood was gone. Home Depot worked with us. They gave us the wood at the very, probably half off. And we were out with that wood. And whoever called and needed wood, we gave it to them. So I went into solution mode.
Yeah.
What are we doing to help the people? Yeah. And so.
Yeah, at some point, once we decide, okay, my husband wasn't budging. Because he's like, we staying here.
It's a Floridian.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I just accepted it. I didn't argue with them. I was like, okay, so we staying here. And then I was just like, well, let me just make sure we have water, make sure. And even the water situation, he kept saying, he was like, don't worry. As soon as the craze passes over a little bit, when we get closer to the storm, we're going to be able to walk in that store, get some water, and walk right out. And that's exactly what we did.
But but that's what typically happens. You know, you have folks that are frantic and they're, you know, like, all right, we got to go, but everyone else is ready to go to. I mean, even like when I went to, it was funny, I think the end of last month, I went to Costco, renewed my Costco membership because I wanted a little bit cheaper gas. And so I got a cash card. I put like $150 on it. And I think it was like the Saturday before, I went to Costco. I probably sat in the line 10 minutes and pumped gas. Mm-hmm. Even when I was leaving, actually, I didn't need to.
Costco?
Costco. Yeah, they have gas.
Yeah. But every time that I went, even a few days ago when I put gas in my car, there was no lines.
Listen, Saturday before so the storm came on Sunday. Mm-hmm. The Saturday way before, nobody was really talking about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw that post, but I went to Costco to get some food, put on the grill, and the lady greets, you know, they wanted to see your car. Mm-hmm. She didn't even ask. She says, we have no water and we're closed tomorrow, so it was the day before the holiday. So this was Sunday. Nobody's talking about Irma. And so I asked the guy in the store, I said, well, are people buying this water to ship to Houston? Am I missing something? Because I don't really watch TV. Mm-hmm. He said, yes, Irma's coming. The hurricane's coming to Florida. It's supposed to be a Category 5. Category 5. So I walked to the seafood department because now I'm ready to get on my grill and cook for the day. He says, no, we had water come in today for an hour. The people were fighting over the water.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I said, no way. I'm going home to boil me some water because where we were from, we drank from the water hose.
Listen, we all did.
No, that's what I did. I froze water. I put it in little all my little thermos
tanks. I put it in the freezer. And on the countertop, you probably saw them. We had boiled water. And so, thank God we didn't have to use it, and we were just something else. We were able to donate, you know. And so, I like the togetherness that's coming. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like we've been having a lot of police brutality. And a lot of different things that are just shaking up the world and really just disgust, I should say. Yeah. And, I saw an officer in Home Depot, and he was from Tulsa. And if you have ever been to Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's, where they have the school with the praying hands, and they've got a nice church on, every corner, and it's really a nice place to raise kids. People are very genuinely nice. And he says, man, you guys are the nicest people in South Florida. And I'm like, wow. This is the way it needs to stay.
Exactly. Yeah, and
and so he was here to protect, obviously, to make sure no one was stealing and carrying on the stores. And he said they just had not had that type of activity, and he was pretty pleased.
Well, good.
Yeah, he was pretty pleased. So I was excited to hear that. And just, I made a joke to him, and I said, you know what, next week you guys might not be but right now, we like you. And he thought it was the funniest thing. And so just, make him laugh. And they had been working. They said they had been, first of all, they came in an RV. They had to stop in Jacksonville, which was where they went to. He said that they were so nervous for their lives because they were in an RV.
Yeah.
They were moving and shaking.
Rightfully so.
And so, I don't know. I think, I want to say that I see some negative things, Makita. And I think that I would have the opinion that I've been seeing more positive things. I don't know if it's because that's where my energy is drawing my attention to.
It's where your energy is going.
Yeah, but I've been seeing a lot more positive.
Yeah, me too.
Than negative, and I like that. I like that the people are coming together. Yeah, people are complaining about not having power, and people are helping. They're helping. Some of our dignitaries don't even have lights right now.
And I know people are offering for people to come and be at their house, but I guess people just want to be at home. They don't want to leave their house.
Listen, I've got a good friend of mine, my best friend. She's at my house, her and her kids. And thank God we have the space for them because they live oceanfront. They were not home. And the wind knocked, first of all, the entire balcony is glass.
Yeah.
It shattered.
Wow.
The place is a mess.
This
glass
is Tina's
everywhere.
place, right?
Yeah, glass everywhere. Water everywhere. Water under the wood floors. It's a little bit emotional because your things are damaged. It's your home. But man, I say she's got insurance. She's
gonna get all that back and some.
Yeah, and she's got a place to stay. could she afford to stay somewhere else and rent? I'm sure.
Yeah.
But to be in a place of home, you just mentioned some people just want to be
home.
home.
Yeah.
And my house is like home for her. And so when she said, Claudienne, we had nowhere to go, I got into that back room, which we hadn't even done anything with. It kind of just made it more, comfortable for her and stuff like that. And so just
that's what friends and family are for. And at times like this, you're able to see who your real friends and your real family are. And you get to meet your neighbors and
the kids playing.
Get to refocus.
Yeah.
It kind of
love it.
I've always been pretty humble, but this experience humbled me even more. And I just don't. After this, I said to myself, I really don't have time to really put my energy on anything other than God and positivity and helping people and doing what's right and living right. And I too agree, like when the storm was coming, it was like after we established we were staying here, it was a sense of calmness and a sense of peace. Listen, I'm just gonna pray. I think the night we were waiting for the hurricane to hit, I got in the hallway at my mom's friend's house and got in my Bible, and I was like, Lord, if this is it, I'm ready. Mm-hmm. And if it's not, I'm ready. I'm ready to do whatever you want me to do.
Win, lose, or draw.
Win, lose, or draw.
Ready.
I was ready.
Love it.
Wow. So we're at our last 3 minutes.
Oh man, we've been talking for that long.
I know.
Claudienne, it's your time, boo. Promote yourself.
Yeah.
Push yourself. That's what this is for. Let me tell you
something. It's not even about me. It's not about me. It's about the people. I know I do real estate, and I feel like this. And why do I share? I remember even in my early stages of real estate, people wouldn't share information with me. But there's so much real estate. Yeah. There's enough to go around. Yeah. And so really it's about the people. Want to make sure that they have the information that they need. If you're already ready, stay ready. Don't get caught up into, all these different programs. I know I just did a Facebook Live before I got here. Tune into that. Very good information. My page on my Facebook page on my website, you'll see information there. But again, thank you for having me on the show. You guys are great. Great conversation.
What's your page?
Claudienne Hibbert. That's Claudienne Hibbert Hibbert. I am the real estate professional.
And we're gonna have you back to talk about real estate.
Okay, good. Right now, I just want to make sure that the people are in a calm space and they're getting back to their normal routine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, Claudienne has been very helpful in relief efforts and what's happening in our South Florida communities with food drives and other things. Claudienne, what's your telephone number if they have any questions for you?
I'm going to get my cell number out so they can get to me personally, and that's 786-229-6567. I do take text messages. Leave a message. I do check my messages.
She does.
786-229-6567. If you have a question surrounding real estate, you give me a call. I may not have the answers, but I will get you that answer. And if I have it, then all the merrier.
That's fabulous. So as we conclude this show, we want to remind you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Girl What?
And iHeartRadio.
Didn't I say that? iTunes also? Did I say that?
iTunes.
And that's Girl with a U.
And that's Girl with a G-U-R-L.
Yeah.
What?
Girl what?
Girl.
Like
so, like I said, follow us. This was great.
Yeah.
And you have been listening to...
my verse.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Your verse.
We have to end with our verse.
Yes, we do.
Colossians 1:16. All things have been created through him and for him.
And you have been listening to Girl
What?